We are Anka. Stay tuned for updated real news.
Hello, Anka Daily News viewers. How are you doing? I hope you're healthy and well. As Anka Daily News team, we continue to share the developments regarding the Russia-Ukraine war with you. In a moment, I will try to share with you a very critical development from the Frontline. These are very remarkable days for the Frontline, and the advance of the Russian armed forces has stalled. The positions of the Ukrainian armed forces have become even stronger than in the past few months. This is clearly evident, and this is why there is a sense of unease among the Russian armed forces. Since the beginning of the war, the Ukrainian army has been making a concentrated effort to get Russian soldiers out of the battlefield alive. And the reason for this effort of the Ukrainian army is quite clear: to break the war resistance of the Russian soldiers. And because most of the Russian soldiers come to the front line by force, and they don't want to be here, however, the Russian war leadership is using inhumane methods to prevent Russian soldiers from leaving the front line. There has been an incredible development on this issue in the past days. Developments related to the surrendered Russian soldiers felt like a bomb on the agenda. So what are these developments? Let's take a look together. But before moving on to our report, I would like to make a small reminder. As Anka Daily News team, we strive to convey to you developments regarding the Russia-Ukraine war. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss our daily reports and explanations. I also read all of your comments on our videos. Please continue to share your ideas about our content in the comments. And tell us in the comments what content you would like to see on Anka Daily News channel. Let's start if you are ready. Anka Daily News reports. So the war between Russia and Ukraine continues before the eyes of the whole world, and the epic resistance of the Ukrainian armed forces continues to be the lesson for future generations. On the one side is the Russian Federation, the world's superpower, and on the other side is Ukraine, a relatively small country and a small remnant of the Soviet Union. Although Ukraine started this race at a considerable disadvantage, there is still some distance to the finish line. At this point, the Ukrainian armed forces seem to have caught up with the Russian armed forces, while the epic resistance continues and the capacity of the Russian armed forces is decreasing day by day. There is an important issue that we've been raising frequently since the beginning of the war: Russian soldiers surrendering. And we've witnessed these developments almost every day from the first day until today. And the motivation of Ukrainian soldiers to fight is quite clear: to liberate their unjustly occupied territories. But what about the Russian soldiers' motivation for fighting? Is there any occupied Russian territory? No. Is there a threat for invasion? No. There is not, and the Russian soldiers have no combat motivation at this point, and this significantly reduces the fighting capacity of the Russian soldiers. The reason for the lack of combat motivation of the Russian soldiers is actually the Russian leader Vladimir Putin, because the wishes of the Russian leader Putin brought this war into existence, and therefore the Russian soldiers are trying to save themselves by fleeing from the front, and this is what happened in the past days. According to reports, one of the Russian soldiers on the Kharkiv line, one of the areas of the heavy fighting, surrendered after fierce clashes with the Ukrainian armed forces. Although there are allegedly some images of the surrendered Russian soldier, official Ukrainian sources still have not shared any definitive images. The Russian soldier was allegedly the only survivor of his battalion, and therefore he had only one chance to escape from the front line, and he could either surrender or die. If he chose to turn back, he could be destroyed by the barrier troops. Therefore, the Russian soldier took advantage of the situation and surrendered to the Ukrainian armed forces. However, this was allegedly planned much earlier by the Russian soldier. According to the allegations, this Russian soldier had previously told a friend about the difficulties he was experiencing on the front line. Speaking to his friend on the phone, this soldier said that he was fed up with this situation and wanted to get out of where he was, but he was confused about how to get out of the front line. And the friend he spoke to on the phone encouraged him by telling him what would happen to him if he did not get out of the front. The Russian soldier took this phone account and put into practices his plan to escape from the front. According to reports, his friend who encouraged the Russian soldier was recently arrested by the Russian Federal Security Service personnel. They detained 31-year-old farmer Ilya Usion on the charges of repeatedly persuading the Russian soldier to surrender. and the Rychatsky District Court reportedly found Usion guilty and sentenced him to 3 years and 6 months in a medium security prison. Usion's lawyer issued the following statements. My client Usion learned that his friend felt bad, so to speak, in Ukraine and decided to go to the Ukrainian website to connect with them. He went through the process. She made a great sacrifice to get her friend out of this hell. And it is clear that not only the Russian soldiers who are now tired and fed up, but also the people who love them are in difficult situation. After the surrender of the Russian soldier, the incident caused outrage. Many Russian citizens are calling for Usion's release, but this is allegedly not so easy because what Usion's did is allegedly treason. The decision of the Russian court seems to be quite political, but this court decision is an important detail because this is actually a precedent for those who helped Russian soldiers to desert. And it seems that the Russian courts are determined to prevent desertion by trying different methods. While all this was happening, the statement came from the Ukrainian armed forces. As it is known, there is a hotline called I Want to Leave. The purpose of this line is to carry out the processes of the Russian soldiers who want to get out of the war, and the statement made in the past days about the I Want to Leave hotline once again revealed the situation of the Russian army. Captain Andrei Yosef, a representative of the Ukrainian Defense Intelligence, made the following statements. We received more than 35,000 applications for the project, mostly from the Russian military personnel, but also from people who were forced to join the Russian army but wanted to protect themselves, did not want to participate in the offensive warfare, and did not join Russia. To date, more than 260 Russian soldiers of various ranks have successfully used the project. They have all crossed the front line and are safe under the protection of the Ukrainian state and international law. As we can see, there has been an increase in the number of surrender of the Russian soldiers. This increase is likely to continue, and the most striking thing about the use of data is that even Russian citizens who have not yet participated in the war are considering the option of surrender. The Russian war leadership and the President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, want to continue to grind the Russian people. So what do you think? Do you think the increase in the number of Russian soldiers surrendering will continue? What events could this increase lead to? And how do you evaluate Yusuf's statements? Do you consider the I Want to Leave project successful? Tell me in the comments. I read and I care a lot about all of your comments.